Today I'm going to be doing my January wrap up. January was like a decent month for me. I managed to read 3 books and finished 1 short novella. And I really liked almost all of them. So I feel like it was pretty good. So let's get started. So the first book that I read in January was The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. So I read an ebook of it, so that's why I don't own it right now. And I absolutely love this book so much. It's basically a book about a long distance relationship. It's about these 2 people that meet and both of them move apart, and despite that, they still have such a strong bond with each other and they still love each other so much. And it was so beautiful to see. They talk to each other so little, yet their romance was it was so beautiful. And I don't know why I read such little contemporaries, because I really, really love contemporaries. There's some contemporaries, especially this one, that makes you really think about life. It makes you think about things that you don't really think about all the time. And I really, really love The Geography of You and Me. I think this is my favorite Jennifer E. Smith book. I've read The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, which I think is her first book, and then I read This Is What Happy Looks Like. The first book I read by her was This Is What Happy Looks Like, because I just fell in love with that book so much. I just wanted to read like everything Jennifer E. Smith ever. And as much as I did like the Love at First Sight one, it wasn't like as good as This Is What Happy Looks Like. It's probably because that was her first book, I'm pretty sure. But I think Geography of You and Me is my favorite by her. I think so. It takes place in so many different places. I completely lost track. Like, it takes place all over Europe. It takes place all over America, because both of the characters keep traveling. So that was really cool. Like, there's a chapter in like Edinburgh. There's a chapter in London. There's a chapter in Paris. There's a chapter in freaking like Lake Tahoe, the San Francisco, and Loch Ness. Oh my god, there's like, it's everywhere, and it was so cool to see, because I really love reading travel books. I really, really love traveling, and I really love reading books about it, and I just love this book so much. The next book I read in January was Illuminae by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. So I got the chance to meet these 2 authors a couple months back, and I did make a video about it. I'll link it down below. And first of all, these authors were amazing, and I really wish I had read this book when I got to meet them, because there were so many things I wanted to just gush to them about how amazing this book was and just ask them questions. I loved this book so much. This is basically about a planet being invaded. It's like a futuristic society, and like these 2 characters, the main characters, Ezra and Katie, they break up, and then their planet gets invaded, and they're shuttled off to these rescue ships, and they have to rely on each other to figure out what is happening, because there's this huge mystery, like what is happening and everything. And I loved this book. It's not told the conventional way. It's told through like hacked files and interviews and emails, IMs, and it took me a little bit to get used to this, but after I did, I really just flew through this and loved this. I did do a review about this. It will go up in a couple weeks, so I'm not going to go super in depth. I absolutely love this book. I give this book all the stars in the galaxy. The next book I read in January is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. I bought this book a really long time ago. I think maybe like or closer around the time it came out, and I just kept putting off reading it because I didn't want to finish the series. I love the Grisha trilogy so much. It is seriously like one of my favorite series of all time, and I did not want to finish reading this, but I kind of have to, because I was talking to some people who have read Six of Crows, and they said that there's like it's not like a really, really big spoiler, but there's like a small spoiler in Six of Crows to the end of Ruin and Rising. And I love this series so much. I am not going to get spoiled. So a lot of people recommended like to read Grisha trilogy first if you care about that, or finish it anyway. So since I only had 1 book left, I'm just like, screw it, I'm just going to read it. So I read it. And I loved it so much. It was such an emotional read, because this is one of my favorite series ever, and I didn't want to say bye. I didn't want to say goodbye to this series, and it did end so beautifully, and I was crying at the end because it was so beautiful, and I was really satisfied with the ending. And this book was just, it was so engaging, and there were so many twists and turns. Oh my god, there were so many plot twists that I did not see coming. Like, not even, like, oh my god. When they happened, I was just like blown away. I was like, what? What just happened? I did not see that coming. Even the ending, I did not see it coming. Well, I did see the guy she ended up with coming, because it was kind of obvious. Not gonna spoil it, but like, it was kind of obvious who she was gonna end up who she was going to end up with. But what she was going to do with that guy, and like how they were gonna start life together, I did not see coming. And the way like they did was just, it was so beautiful, and I didn't see that happening at all, but the fact that it did just made me happy, so happy inside. And while I'm sad this series is over, at least I have 6 of Crows. But like, I love this series so much. Oh my god. This is the last book, so I can't really say much about it, but like, the first book is Shadow and Bone. It has a lot of court intrigue, and it's a high fantasy, and it has a lot of similarities to Russia, because the world building is based on Russia, which I really, really love. And there's like these Grisha, and they're like the top of the class. Like, they have these really cool powers, and just, I really, really love the first book so much. But I feel like her writing style got a lot better. Like, the first book was amazing, but the second book was even better, and this one just blew me away. I love the series so much. The next book I read was The Demon in the Wood, also by Leigh Bardugo. So I actually read this in Ruin and Rising. If you haven't noticed, it is in golden. It is the Barnes & Noble's Collector's Edition. So the Barnes & Noble Collector's Edition has this extra Darkling prequel story in it, The Demon in the Wood. The Demon in the Wood. So it's basically the Darkling story. Like, it's really short. I think it was like 20 pages or 30 pages. And it's basically Darkling, the Darkling when he was a little kid. Well, not a little kid. I think he was like 16 or something. I forget. But like, as much as I really, really love The Darkling, I did not like this novella. I feel it was very short, and a lot of things were not explained, and I was really confused for a lot of it. And I feel like the main thing is that it was way too short. I feel like if it had been maybe, because I think this was like 30 pages, I think if it had been maybe like 50 or 60 pages, it would have been a lot better if she had explained more things and not have it be such a short little scene. Like, this did not feel like a novella. It felt more like a deleted scene kind of thing, you know? Like, I didn't like it. It made me sad, because I really, really love the Darkling. He's one of my favorite characters ever. So, and I really wanted to know more about him. So when I saw that there was the Darkling prequel story in this, I was like, oh my god, yes! And then I read it, and I was really disappointed, so that sucked. So these technically were all the books I read in January, because I don't own the other 2. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Comment below what you read in January, and if any of our picks were the same. Au revoir!